Well, I will say I was reading about animal rights, and that was super divisive to his fan base.
Oh, yeah.
They were used to the electronica and like the dance music and the more hip stuff. And I think he was also doing punk late.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was in the late 90s, right? What year was Animal
No, it was
Rights
like
that came out?
It was like 94, maybe 96.
Yeah. Oh, it was 1996. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
96.
after Green Day kind of brought punk back to the mainstream, though. So, but he was doing other kind of punk.
I would imagine, I haven't listened to the album, but I know you have. I imagine it's like more old school punk.
Yeah, it's just thrashy.
Okay.
But in a not fun to listen to way, I guess, maybe.
I will. Some of his stuff, like, I don't like, but a lot of it is cool. And, you know, there's like a clear line where you can see why films would adopt his stuff so early into his career.
Yes, I agree.
Because he was... well, fuck it. Let's introduce what we're talking about first.
Yeah, we were just doing a little bit of a stylish cold open where we just are.
I think
we start in the middle of a conversation. This episode starts in the middle of a conversation, and we're just like, oh, we're just talking about something, you know? And oh, hey guys, I didn't notice you were there.
Yeah, I think it's a non-linear Quentin Tarantino opener, like Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah,
like they're around the dinner or the breakfast table, like shooting the shit, and it's like, what's this all about? Okay, everyone. This is from Justin to Kane. This is like what are we calling this? Film corner?
Well, no, this is, we said that this was our Mobysode.
The Mobysode, but it's, it's like it's a phantasmagorical companion piece to our regular programming.
Yes.
This is the Mobysode. We're going to still talk about movies and all that stuff that you little canines love to hear. But it's going to be Moby-centric.
Yeah, it's going to be about the musician Moby for some reason.
If anything, has this episode been our white whale? Have we been chasing this for years?
Oh, in many ways we have, yeah.
Yeah.
In our own mind, in our subconscious mind, we didn't know we were chasing it, and then we just realized when we were recording last week's episode, we were like, oh, we should talk about Moby maybe for some reason.
And here we are, 7 days later, talking about Moby.
Oh, yeah. Living the dream.
So I guess let's start, Mike, because you are a fan of Moby.
I was a big Moby fan during his heyday.
Which was name the years? Like,
I mean,
is it the 90s or the 2000s?
I got into Moby when he was just exploding in popularity. So late 90s, 1999 maybe. So I was in high school, and Play was like one of the biggest albums of the year. And I got Play, and I got his follow-up 18, which I think is the better of the two albums.
But the general consensus is that it isn't, right?
I don't know.
It's a weaker album.
I think time has shown that some people are like, this album is actually better than the other one. But they're both very similar. I would say they're companion albums. They like sound kind of the same. They have the same style.
So I read that Play, when it came out, had very little recognition. But then in the year 2000, every single song from the album was licensed for either a commercial, a TV show, or a film.
That's right, yeah.
Every single song, which is nuts. So he made a ton of money, and then it like blossomed in popularity because of like tertiary media that isn't just music. And then that's what blew up. And then Southside with Gwen Stefani is like, that song was huge.
Yeah, that was a hit too. Yeah,
it's his only song to reach the top 100 on Billboard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for like actual pop songs. He's made the top of the electronic list a bunch of times, but not like this, like the straight up, like list of popular music.
Yeah, right. Well, I had those two albums. I also had his. I went back and bought his first CD, which was just called Moby.
Yeah.
And then I think that one had his first hit called Go, I believe. And then I Like to Score, which was his like album of movie soundtrack stuff.
So you know what's interesting, Mike, is I Like to Score, from what I gather, doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it doesn't exist on the internet.
I listened to it the other day.
Did you? How? I couldn't find it anywhere.
It was on YouTube Music, which is the service I use. I don't use Spotify like the plebes.
I use YouTube Music and Spotify, but I didn't look on YouTube Music. Interesting.
Why would you use... So you pay for both? Or you're just
no,
in
both
two
are
families?
free. I'm on yours, and I'm on my sister and brother-in-law's Spotify. I pay for neither.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there.
That's the grift we're all looking for.
I pay for other services. It all evens out. I mean, not for you. I'm purely taking advantage of you, but
we had a family plan anyway. There was a couple months where we didn't have anybody in our family plan except for just me and my partner. So it was all being wasted. And then I added you. I added most of my family into it, my actual family. Yeah. So, but also you're my chosen family. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Likewise, but I don't provide. I feel like I owe you a service.
No, families don't owe family service. You're my Google family at the very least.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Larry Page is like, that's right. Google family.
I consider Bob family. My Google family. My Google content
the first half
family.
of that is so genuine. Yeah. And then the second half is like, ugh, that's kind of a yucky phrase.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But yeah, I listened to I Like to Score last week.
Oh, okay, cool.
After we talked about it, I was like, I want to listen to this again, see if it holds up.
It blows my mind because that came out in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he has there's a lot of films that use his stuff in the 90s, but I think he really kind of hit his stride in the 2000s with scoring.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Because, I mean, Heat was obviously a huge movie, and he has a song in Heat.
But he didn't score Heat. That was just a song from his album, Everything Is Wrong, I think, which I also had, actually.
Of course you did.
Yeah,
But he scored, it says he's the arranger for Tomorrow Never Dies, the James Bond theme, Moby's reversion, which is pretty clever.
Mm-hmm.
What was he? What was his official title? Because he didn't do the score. He just did the song?
Yeah, I think he just kind of wrote his music, and then they licensed it for movies.
Okay.
So when he says I like to score, he's lying to us, because as far as I can tell, he didn't do actually any scores for movies. Like any soundtracks.
No, I don't think so.
But he's just a guy who's you hear his music all the time.
Yeah. Well, his list, like the list, if you go online and just look at every single credit, like big and small, is borderline too long to read.
Well, I would say go for it. We got a lot of time. We have unlimited time.
All right. So the first thing was Cool World.
Oh, right. Cool World. Right.
1992. And then Heat was the second film, which is like huge.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joe's Apartment. I don't know what that is.
I saw that movie.
A nice guy has just moved to New York and discovers that he must share his rundown apartment with a couple thousand singing, dancing cockroaches. Of course you've seen that film. You wrote it, didn't you?
No, but it was very up my alley when video stores were still a thing.
Right.
And it was like an MTV. It was like an MTV short film, I think, which they made into a feature-length movie.
Oh, really?
If I'm not mistaken, MTV was involved somehow.
Man, I wish I had been more cognizant in the 90s.
I mean,
AKA born earlier.
Yeah, not a baby.
Yeah, like born in the back nine of 1997. Really, I feel shortchanged because there was some cool stuff in the 90s.
Oh yeah, the 90s were an okay decade.
Anywho, so the next film is Scream.
Really?
Wes Craven.
First one?
Yeah. The first one, yeah. First Cool Hive is the song.
Oh, right. That song. Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah. And then a TV show called Formula One.
Mm-hmm.
And then The Saint.
Right. That's right. Yeah, that's on I Like to Score.
In 97. And then Tomorrow Never Dies. 97 was a good year. So he had a TV series, The Saint, and then Tomorrow Never Dies. In 97.
That's actually kind of insane that all of that happened before he had his gigantic album.
Actually, Mike, it gets more fucked up. Listen to this. 1998, Senseless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Base Kit Ball.
Oh, yeah. I love that movie.
Permanent Midnight.
Mm-hmm. Playing
by Heart.
Right.
And then a short film that I've never heard of called... Surely this is a typo. Let me just look at this. BRNO Train Death Friend.
Okay.
Surely nobody's seen this. It's like the IMDb is comical.
You've never seen
98.
You've never seen BRNO Train Death Friend? You've never seen it?
And you call yourself a cinephile?
You're not a film buff.
Yeah. So 98 was a good year.
Way to go, Moby. Way to go. Whatever your name is, your real name is.
So his real name is Richard Melville Hall.
That's right, Richard Melville Hall. I knew that actually in the deep recesses.
I guess we should talk about the genesis So his name is Richard Melville Hall.
Mm-hmm.
He is Herman Melville's great nephew.
Cool. Yeah, I knew that. But I just pretended like I didn't. Cool fact. Cool new fact to me.
Yeah. You're like a massive Moby fan and you just never like looked into why he called himself Moby.
Yeah, I did pique my interest at one point. Fun fact about me, currently reading Moby Dick.
Are you?
Yeah, I've been reading it since, I guess,
2002?
Since 2020. I started in 2020, that being December. So I've only been reading it a couple months, just on and off.
How's it going? Is it going all right?
I am exactly halfway through it, and I like it.
Enjoying it?
I like it a lot.
You actually do, because I've heard some people say it's like a really pleasant read, and other people say it is just undoable.
Well, I think it really comes down to your love of like
fish,
people who mammals? Fish,
wet mammals.
If you like wet mams, this book is for you. That sounds actually dirty, but
it definitely does. Keep it in the pod.
Keep it in the pod. We'll have to keep it in. Yeah. So Moby Dick is great. It's good if you are into
Moby Dick.
Moby Dick. If you're it's good if you're into pirate speak. I'll say that.
Okay.
So if you like reading 600, maybe 700, I can't remember how long it is, pages of people saying "ye" a lot, then it's
it's a
good book. I don't know. I thought it was just one really, really long book.
I thought it was 2 volumes.
I mean, maybe you can buy it in 2 volumes because it's friggin' long.
I really hope you get to the end of the 700th page and it's like, and coming soon, volume 2, and you're like, damn it.
Yeah, and well, I mean, I can see why some people don't like it because it's also a lot of just meandering. Like you don't meet.
Oh, really?
You don't meet Captain Ahab until like 200 or 300 pages into it. Like I just kind of met Captain Ahab, and he's one of the main characters. And he's the one
you're halfway through the book.
Yeah, and he's the one who, spoiler alert to a 200-year-old book or whatever. He's the one who is after the titular Moby Dick. He's like, Moby Dick is his great white whale, so to speak. Literally.
Yeah. His literal, like literal in the absolute sense of the phrase. His literal white whale.
Yeah, it's like the best application of that phrase ever, probably. I would say this specific book is the best application of that phrase.
Have you seen the film from the mid-50s with Gregory Peck playing Ahab, and it's directed by John Huston?
It's Moby Dick, the movie?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I'll watch it after I read the book.
It's do it. It's astonishingly good, but there are some legendary behind the scenes anecdotes because John Huston was like a famous alcoholic.
Yes.
And a talented guy. So
who among us aren't?
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
We're all alcoholic talented guys.
Especially you and me on this film podcast.
Oh yeah. So hammered right now?
Hammered on at 2:44 p.m. on a Sunday?
Yeah.
You drinking beer out of that yellow coffee mug? Or just white wine?
You bet. Yeah, white wine and beer
I put
together.
Vodka in this bubbly I'm drinking right here.
What kind of bubbly you got? What kind of bubbly? Okay, this segment's called the Bubbly Report.
It's a grapefruit. I just bought a dozen. My mini fridge is actually bursting at the seams. I have a dozen lime, about 10 pamplemousse, and like 2 pineapple, and a handful of peach.
Wow, that truly was the Bubbly Report.
Yeah, I like to be comprehensive about my beverages.
Yeah.
Anywho, so this film apparently, not dissimilar to the shark in Jaws, they had a giant mechanical white whale that they would use, right? Mm-hmm. Because they didn't really have the special effects required, and they shot on the open ocean at times, and Insane. It was a nightmare. But so there was a storm apparently, like a big storm, and they told John Huston, like the whale was like strapped to the prop ship. Mm-hmm. The prop ship was like a real boat, like it worked, it floated, I guess. It had sails and stuff, and the prop, like the mechanical whale, was strapped to the side, and they were like, "We got to cut it loose, or we're all gonna drown." And he was like drunk on like whiskey, and he like took a bottle of whiskey and tied himself to the whale with rope, and he rode out the storm so that it wouldn't like fall off, and like, I don't know, he was just being a hero, I guess, and endangering his own life. But there's like a legendary story of him being like, "You're all losers or whatever. And then I'm sure he said something else, something more offensive, I'm sure. But then he strapped himself to this whale and he rode out the storm, and then it was fine. And he was just schmammered the whole time.
Yeah, sounds like that's like old Hollywood a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. Guy was drunk and abusive. End of movie. End of story.
Well, when you put it like that, Mike, it's a lot less cool.
Yeah. Well, but people like it drinky.
Do you think? And I was thinking about this today, Mike. Do you think? I mean, obviously, he called himself Moby, but do you think he felt like there was some sort of shadow? Herman Melville's 200-year-old shadow is kind of cast upon Moby?
Yes. Yes. Obviously, if you are descended from somebody who is quote unquote great, like Herman Melville, then yeah. Some facts about Herman Melville, if you want to hear them. I know him in my brain. I'm not even reading off a piece of paper like a rank amateur like Bob reading off some paper there. Are you reading, or is that just in your mind? I'm just pretending. I don't know.
Most of this is in my brain.
Oh, good. Okay, well then I take back what I just said. I don't know why I need to be mean to you. I think it's just I'm a drunk.
I am reading the only thing I'm reading is the list of credits.
Oh yeah, right, the credits.
Yeah, like that I'm reading, but all the other stuff I'm just pulling out of my behind.
Yeah, you don't have those credits memorized, Bob, and that's the problem.
I think there are like 400 plus credits.
Yeah, it's fun.
What's the total
to
number?
pretend to be an abusive podcast person.
Yeah, there's 231 credits.
Oh, Jesus, Moby. Slow down, okay?
Yeah.
Slow down, you're going too fast.
Leave some soundtracks for the rest of us, huh?
Yeah, geez.
What a jerk.
So Moby Dick, the book, was not a success when it came out. Like Moby, the musician, his albums. I mean, I guess, in a way, his play is his Moby Dick in a way, because it was not like a success when it came out. Was it? I don't think so.
No.
It was a slow burn success, wasn't it?
I think so.
But anyway, Moby Dick sold like a couple thousand copies. The book that he had come out with before Moby Dick, which the name of which I don't remember, but it sold, maybe 5 or 10 times more books than Moby Dick did when Moby Dick came out.
But that's so interesting, but it hasn't lasted the test of time.
No, I don't even remember the title.
Exactly, but everyone knows Moby Dick.
Well, Moby Dick, was not famous in its time, and it wasn't even famous during Herman Melville's lifetime. It wasn't until like the 20th century when a bunch of writers like Ernest Hemingway and like
F. Scott Fitzgerald or whatever.
F. Scott Fitzgerald, yeah. A bunch of those writers were always talking about it, like, have you heard about Moby Dick? It's great. And then it kind of just became part of like the canon of just like great literature. And now it's considered like
similar to how like cinephiles are like, hey, have you ever seen the bootleg copy of Star Wars Christmas Special? And everyone's like, no, I didn't even know that existed. Same thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This little bootleg copy, and it's like, I can't believe this exists. And it's so great. You can see an old pervy Chewbacca watch like really softcore pornography.
I mean, exactly. Going back to even our last episode, Freddy Got Fingered, which today, as of this record, as podcasters say, is celebrating. Today is its 20th anniversary.
So I placed bets with myself on when you'd bring it up in this episode, and I just made a lot of money.
Did you really actually think about that?
I did, yeah. I was like, oh god, Mike's gonna bring it up at least 3 times.
Well, today is the 20th anniversary, so I think we should all celebrate this very special day. But I think that's a great example of a movie that was not received well on its release, and then became I wouldn't say more popular. Well, I mean, it did get more popular because when it came out on DVD, it made more money than it made in the theaters. So that's a thing. Yeah. But then now I think a lot of people think it's a work of genius. So, I mean, there's countless examples of this. Citizen Kane, even. Like the titular
or Fight Club.
Kane. Yeah, Fight Club. Wait, Fight Club is better now than it was when it came out?
Yeah, it didn't do super well when it came out, but the VHS sales were like through the roof. It did way way better on its like on the home rental market than it did theatrically. And then it absorbed like a cult status.
It truly was like a wild time during the age of DVD and video rentals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anything was like a moneymaker, really, because people rented stuff and it cost a lot of money to rent a thing, and people made a lot of money.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe that's how, like, let's bring it back to Moby, because I feel like
No. We're done with talking about Moby.
The Mobysode, it's like, you guys talked about Moby for 8 minutes and then you just were shooting the shit about other garbage.
Yeah.
But Moby, I feel like his timing kind of coincided with the rental explosion. And so probably what happened was like people are renting these DVDs, because it's one thing to hear a song in a movie theater and be like, that was really good, but I didn't stay for the credits and I don't know who it was.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the DVD, you watched it 3 times in 1 week, you sat through the credits, and you're like, I got to go get a Moby CD.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you the rental craze had a massive effect on his early success with scores.
Oh, probably, yeah.
That's what I think.
Rogers Video, the video store that I used to go and rent videos at, and worked at even at one point. They experimented with selling albums at one point.
And
so
how
you
did
could
it go?
buy CDs there. I mean, I bought a few CDs there. I remember biking across the city to go get a CD by the band Garbage. Remember the band Garbage?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember them as in, like, I just learned about them recently, but I do know who they are.
They put out like 2 or 3 just like front to back solid albums.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I went and bought a Garbage CD at the store at Rogers Video.
Nice.
I probably rented a game too.
You would have.
I would have, yeah.
So speaking of game, I do want to bring up, so just by happenstance, I've listened or watched a lot of movies with Moby songs in them.
Just in the last week or in general?
No, in the last like month.
Oh, okay.
But one of which being the first Lara Croft film.
Really? What song was in there?
And Freddy Got Fingered and Heat.
Oh yeah, Freddy Got Fingered. That was why we're talking about this.
That's right. Yeah, because the soundtrack is really good.
Yeah, there's a Moby song on the soundtrack, right? Yeah. I was trying to figure out why that even came up, and I wasn't going to go and start re-listening to that last episode in the middle of this recording.
Ain't Never Learned for Lara Croft, the first one, yeah.
Yeah, good.
So Freddy Got Fingered and Lara Croft in 2001, like, that's a good year.
Pretty good. Way to go, Mobes.
I have a question, though. Like, does Moby like Freddy Got Fingered?
I don't know. I never looked into it. I bet you he probably didn't watch it at all.
Probably, he's a busy guy. He's
a hardcore vegan. And I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I just mean he's like literally has vegan tattoos. He owns a vegan restaurant. He's
a famous vegan, and he's like famous. One of the first.
Yeah, most of his Instagram posts are about veganism. Mm-hmm. His Animal Rights was the name of one of his albums, for God's sake.
Yeah.
So he's a hardcore vegan. So I feel like Freddy Got Fingered, the part where he does things with animals, would be triggering for him probably.
And maybe the sausage finger situation, because it's you're combining sort of the one thing Moby loves and the one thing he hates mixed together with Tom Green in the middle as sort of the peanut butter and jelly. So you've got the meat on strings, the sausages, and then you've got a piano being played or like a harmonium. Sounded weird. I bet you that was really conflicting for him.
Yeah.
Even when you're an activist, though, like really what it comes down to is like we're all part of this flawed system, and the best efforts you put in will still result in you somehow supporting something you don't, just by virtue of existing in a society, man. And like Moby's just a person.
So, yeah, you heard it here first, folks. Bob says we live in a society. He's coming out as a Joker fan.
You're so... Oh, fuck. I walked right into that. You're so good at burning me really succinctly.
I'm a passive-aggressive guy. What can I say?
Whatever. Okay, so... Okay. Well,
you were talking about Moby. You were listing his credits.
That's right. I mean, I'm not going to say 231.
Okay, well, scroll to the end of the list. What's Moby done for us lately, to quote Janet Jackson?
So in 2020, only one thing. It's a TV series I've never heard of called Up for Noise.
Sure.
And it looks like a holy sweet Jesus Christ. What is this show? It's a children's show.
Okay.
Let me read. So overnight, the four friends, Leo, Iggy, Sam, and Alex, goes from being boys playing PC games in a basement to be a boy band sensation. Can their friendship handle the sudden fame? And it's a TV show, and it's ongoing. There are 16 episodes. It has a 4.1 on IMDb, so let that taint your initial expectations.
Yeah, the 40-year-old film guys who love The Shawshank Redemption are just, they do not want to watch this kid show, I guess. They do not like it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so that's the last thing Moby did for us. But I think 2019 was pretty good. He did Bad Education, A Majestic Wish. Nope. 2019 wasn't great either.
I think he's still doing all right, though. I think he's got money.
Oh, yeah. He's just on royalties and stuff. I think he's fine for the rest of his life. But he's definitely mellowed out. But he's also like... The last thing I want to bring up before I bring up my, really cool topic change is he's gotten into ambience, which I feel like is a thing, and this is a really hot take, is a thing somebody does when they're in their twilight.
Oh, I wouldn't say that's true at all.
No?
I'd say that's kind of like what he was probably into when he started.
Ambience?
Yeah.
He has a 4-hour album.
Yeah, but you know why that's a good idea?
Why?
Well, you put it on YouTube and, people put it on while they're studying and then you get all that YouTube royalty money.
That's true. And actually, one of the albums is literally for sleeping.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah, I saw that he did that and I was like, oh, he's probably just trying to make some of that YouTube money just because why not? Like I think he's smart enough to realize, people use YouTube for music now. So they'll just put on an ambient thing while they sleep or when they are studying or whatever the hell. So.
Okay. All right. I've been proven wrong. That's a very good point.
His biggest mistake actually was not making like a little parody drawing of that anime girl studying, that accompanies all the ambient studying music, lo-fi.
But that's all jazz hop. That's like different.
Yeah.
I wonder. I haven't listened to his ambience, but I would imagine it's slightly alienating. Just because that's his whole style.
Yeah, I guess a little bit, yeah.
But I don't freaking know, man.
Speaking of film score stuff, and also on the topic of Moby, he did a thing called Moby Gratis, which I was really into like 10, 15 years ago.
What is that?
Where he, on his website, I think he still has it up. He basically just did Creative Commons free music, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Before it was a big thing that everybody else kind of got into. So he just put a bunch of free music on there for filmmakers to use. So that was kind of like a cool thing that I was like, way to go, Moby. Like you made all this money doing, movie stuff, licensing. Now he's just giving some back to the independent filmmakers, So way to go.
That is cool. And it only helps his brand.
Yeah, it does. Cause maybe someone was like, oh, I'm a good filmmaker now. Or someone's like, I'm a filmmaker who has a budget now. Maybe I'll pay Moby for a track finally.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
Pretty
neat. Yeah. So I wanted to bring up, I feel as though he sort of paved the way for other folks who started out in like bands and had like just like a music career, but then it morphed into like a scoring career. And the two prime examples are Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead.
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
And Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails.
My boy.
Yeah, your boy, Trent Reznor.
Yeah, he's my boy.
I think like, and
I've
it's
abandoned
interesting.
My boy.
That's a sweet reference. Nice. There Will Be Blood. Great film. Johnny Greenwood's first scoring gig for a major film.
I should have referenced him when I said I have abandoned my boy. That would have made a much more cohesive reference.
That's true, but
anyway, yeah. Sorry, you were talking.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I think Moby kind of paved the way for that. Like, and you had this weird resurgence of like auteur guys in like the late '90s, early 2000s. Two good examples, I think, being David Fincher and Paul Thomas Anderson, and they've both had a very sort of unique approach to scoring and like who they hire.
Good.
And so like, you know, Johnny Greenwood scoring your film is a pretty bold choice, and sure as shit, it really worked out.
It did really work out. I would even say he's only gotten better.
Oh, yes, absolutely. He's gotten so much better.
There Will Be Blood was great, like a good home run out of the gate. You know,
but it's kind of a one-trick pony.
Johnny G. But then, Phantom Thread is an amazing score.
Exactly. I agree. I think he's growing as a scorer.
Scorer.
What would you say? A scorer? I'm a scorer.
I'm a scorer guy.
Okay.
And
same with Trent Reznor, I would say.
Exactly.
I think he's done some really unique work, and he's become more, like their ability to work within the medium of film or television, depending on the project, has really grown in the last like 15 years between the two of them.
He's gone from Social Network, which was also like a huge home run out of the gate.
Big time.
First score, just perfect.
And 2009, interesting year.
Couldn't ask for a better score for a movie about Facebook. This year, he's nominated for 2 friggin' Oscars.
Is he?
For score, for Soul and for Mank, the titular Mank.
Oh, yeah. And the Mank soundtrack is good.
It is really good. Yeah, it's so foxtrotty.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, I think they both started out and they were more like moody, but like some of the piano stuff in Phantom Thread is gorgeous.
Yeah. And
it's very classically driven and very melodic, whereas you have just like wailing cellos and like very percussive punctuated music, and There Will Be Blood. So it's cool to see the change. And I think the filmmakers change too. And it's cool to see those relationships kind of blossom but stay together, you know? Because David Fincher's work, Paul Thomas Anderson's work has like grown over the last 15 years, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyways, I just want to say I feel like Moby really paved the way. Because it made directors look like, we can look at like people from bands or who have previous music careers instead of just hiring Howard Shore for everything.
That's right,
or Jerry Goldsmith.
Or Danny Elfman.
It sounded like you said Alf.
Alf,
man. But
Danny,
same. Yeah, totally.
Alf,
or John Williams. You know? Can you think of any other examples? I feel like, Trent Reznor and Johnny Greenwood are classic, but there surely are more. People from bands.
Oh, Tom Hulkenberg.
Who the hell's that?
He's from the band Junkie XL.
Never heard of him.
I had one of their albums as a teen, but he scored. He was electronica, drum and bass electronica stuff. He scored friggin' Justice League Snyder Cut.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, he was on the Snyder Cut, but not on the original movie. So just like a recent example of someone who's like a film guy. Oh, you know what? Speaking of, best probably example, maybe also most kind of trailblazing, friggin' Clint Mansell. He's from a British industrial pop group, called Pop Will Eat Itself.
Okay.
Which I had a CD of as a teen.
Of course. Man, how many CDs did you have? Like a whole wall? Like a big rack, I bet.
Well, I mean, I can go into this if you really want to. We had
Let's digress.
Let's do a little digression here. But I digress. So, this segment's called But I Digress. We should get a little score made.
Yeah, we should. Do you think Johnny Greenwood would do it?
No.
Okay. Well, just a shot in the dark. I tried.
I don't think you would. But so anyway, I did, and I do own a lot of CDs. And the main reason that I kind of realized recently or remembered recently was that we used to subscribe to the Columbia Music Record Club. I don't know if you remember this or are aware what this is.
No, I don't know if you know this, but I was born in 1997.
I do know that, yeah. So when you're a baby pooping in your own diapers, I was having my musical tastes expanded.
Right. Also, never forget, I did open your trunk once, and there was a massive package of Adult Depends. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'll never forget that. Yeah.
Just a 1-for-1 ratio there for diaper.
I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to cut that out of this pod. I have the power to erase that. So we subscribed to Columbia Music Record Club.
Right.
Which was a mail service where they send you a catalog and like a little card that you write in, and then you mail it back. And if you mailed it back before the deadline, you could request, basically they would just send you albums by mail.
Oh, cool.
But the bit was that everybody made fun of was that you bought the first one, you got the second one for a penny, and then you got subsequent ones for like, I think, half off or something like that. So, but the first one cost $25. Like it wasn't like a CD, which now would cost like maybe $12.
Yeah.
Or something. So yeah, it would cost you $25, like $1997, we'll say.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have like music taste that aligned with whatever the Columbia Music Club typically would like have in their main catalog. And so they had a second side catalog, which they would include every once in a while. And so whenever they included that catalog, I would order from that. And it would basically be their bargain bin catalog where they were just like, nobody buys these albums, but we have them for some reason. So we're just trying to get rid of them. So those ones would be like, the first one is full price. The second one is $7, and then the rest are 99 cents each or something like that. So yeah, basically I would just buy like 10 or 20 CDs because all of the stuff that I liked, they were just trying to get rid of. So it was actually a pretty sweet deal because like each CD would probably work out to be about $7.
That's
or less,
cool.
$5 maybe sometimes. I mean, I got a couple of Moby albums from that service as well.
Oh,
I think I Like to Score and Everything Is Wrong from there. Cool. And yeah, so thanks, Columbia Record Club. Definitely RIP because I assume you don't exist anymore.
Columbia
I'd be
Records?
surprised. Yeah. No, Columbia Record Club.
Oh, the club. Yeah, the club doesn't exist. That would be really hardcore if it did.
Yeah, it was annoying though, because if you weren't paying attention, they would send you like a Billy Joel CD or like a Shania Twain CD.
What's wrong with them?
Oh no, it's just like if you weren't paying attention to your mail, you'd just be like, oh, Columbia Record Club, just throw it out this month. You have to open it every month because and sign a card and then mail it back saying, don't send me this Billy Joel CD. They'd send you the CD of the month because that was just the part of the deal. So you had to say, I don't want this. I want these ones instead.
Right.
So we did get a couple of albums that like nobody wanted just because we forgot, and we had to pay $30 for it.
Oh man,
it's really kind of a scam.
Billy Joel doesn't listen to this or Shania Twain because they're going to be hurt.
Yeah,
by your angst.
No, Shania said on Twitter she's a huge K9. She loves from Justin to Kane. Yeah, she loves this pod. Anyway, you said you had a big subject change coming up. What was it? I've just been digressing the hell out of this podcast.
No, the big subject change... Wow, this is underwhelming now. The big subject change was the fact that Moby paved the way for these other guys to become scorers. I thought that was like a good topic.
No, it is a good topic. Yeah, okay.
I have one more example, though, that's kind of good and kind of bad. But the Chemical Brothers, who I would say are like in the same world as Moby...
Yeah, I would say
scored the first Hannah movie, the one with Saoirse Ronan.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And the soundtrack is sweet.
Yeah.
Saoirse, you get it.
Yeah.
And that's like fucking cool, like for a director to be like, oh, what about the Chemical Brothers? Like, let's get them to do this. But also, like, I imagine Daft Punk did some film work.
Well, they did Tron, famously.
That's right. The remake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there you go. I do think Moby really paved the way for like sort of especially like electronica folks. Didn't Deadmau5 do a movie?
Maybe.
I think Deadmau5 did a film. Like in 2000 and I want to say 15.
Polar with Mads Mikkelsen, I believe.
Oh, I just watched that film.
How was it?
It was not great. Kind of like fun, but almost too, I'd say similarly to the film Hannah with Saoirse Ronan, there's like almost too much style and no substance. That was kind of my impression, but
that's what it looked like.
I think there are probably diehard fans.
I wonder if he, when he's scoring a movie, if he wears his mouse head.
I hope not. But also, it's interesting. Another thing I guess we should bring up is, in the electronic world, like identity ambiguity is like a big thing. Like with Daft Punk, Deadmau5, there are a lot of artists, like the Chemical Brothers you never see also. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of artists you never see their face, and Moby was the exact opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Moby was like, you knew who he was, you know what he believes in. He's an activist. He's very loud, like as a person. and not afraid to like get political and like really have conversations, where a lot of electronica artists are kind of the antithesis of that.
And he also, Moby sings on not all of his songs, but he sings on a lot of his songs.
On a lot of them, yeah. Whereas a lot of these other artists don't. They just sample and they have like guests on, you know.
And they have a mouse head.
His vegan restaurant is called Little Pine.
That's right, yeah.
It looks cute. It's got a cute little like front, and there's like a bike rack in the front of the building.
It's in New York?
No, it's in LA.
Oh, it's in LA.
Oh, wait. A series of restaurants. Two prominent being the Little Idiot Collective in New York City.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a clothing store and an animation studio. What? And then he has Little Pine in LA.
Maybe I'll go there one day. At least you know that you're not going to get meat. Because it's a vegan restaurant.
Exactly. It'll be kind of, it's just a guarantee.
It's a friggin' guarantee.
I don't know a lot about Moby until today, or I didn't know a lot about Moby until today. Mm-hmm. And I did lots of reading, but my introduction to him was with the Bourne films.
Which Boring movies?
No, the Bourne films.
Oh, the Bourne films, right.
That's funny. He has a song in all three of them. He's part of the credits for all three films. And I think all three, or maybe just the last two. But then all the subsequent ones, like with Jeremy Renner and stuff, he's also has a song in them. And that was my introduction, and that's all I knew about him until this week. And I've been listening to his stuff, and it's pretty cool.
He's coming out with, I mean, we're not promoting his stuff, really. There's no reason for us to do this, really. But I am kind of excited he is putting out an album next month, I think, which is a greatest hits album that he's scoring with, or he's redoing a bunch of his stuff with like an orchestra.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds right up your alley.
Yeah, so instead of like playing that song Porcelain on like a cruddy synth, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Where he's trying to make it sound like it's an orchestra, but it's very clearly just like a synth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like with an actual like orchestra, and it looks cool. Sounds cool.
Okay, that's sweet.
And I think he's getting people to re-record the vocals on a bunch of stuff too. So,
are you gonna buy it on CD?
No. Probably won't.
Are you going to buy it on LP?
We'll see how it is. I haven't really bought a crazy amount of music in the last maybe 5-6 years.
Yeah.
I used to buy CDs regularly, you know, up until maybe, I don't know, whenever, maybe late 2010 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime around there. But then, and then vinyl since then. Because Spotify
are you
and whatnot.
Yeah, are you the kind of guy that would buy like vinyl for an album you really love?
Oh yeah,
yeah, like that's something you would do.
Yeah, because going back to speaking about my boy Trent,
mm-hmm.
Nine Inch Nails. I have all of the Nine Inch Nails albums on CDs, including all of like the weird not rare, but the weird singles.
Oh, really?
That like, you know, cost $10 and has 3 songs on it or something like that. Like it was just like I was collecting them like, as a collector, like a nerdy collector. But then I got a bunch of some of the same albums I already own on CD on vinyl.
Cool.
Yeah, because they are fancy packages. You know, they changed the mix a little bit. They added new elements. It sounds like.
Yeah, that's sweet. Okay, interesting.
It's fun to look at too. I don't understand the appeal of vinyl in 2021 because you have to get up and flip the record over, which I guess some people like, but I find a bit annoying. Yeah,
people like the like tactile tangibility of it. You know, they like touching stuff. They like mechanical processes.
Yeah.
And if you're really hardcore, it's like all about that sound, man.
I mean, I can't tell.
I remember distinctly. I was at a house party many years ago, and somebody had a record player, and they put the record on, and there's probably 50 people in this house, and you can't hear the record. Plays through the top half, whatever, that's like 20 minutes, or I forget how long a normal record plays. And then it just span out in the middle for like 6 hours, and no one noticed.
Oh, wow.
And it's just like, that's a nice touch, but is it really making a difference? No. And it can break, whereas the Spotify playlist just goes in perpetuity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the audio files, it's like, vinyl is like film in a way, where there's like this kind of, supposedly there's a dynamic range that you can kind of hear, or that's more subtle, I guess, on vinyl. Whereas, you get what you get with digital. It's like, this is the high point of the volume. This is as quiet as it gets. You're not going to be getting this kind of subtlety to the sound that you get on vinyl, which is, I think, what the audiophiles really like. But I don't have fancy enough speakers or fancy enough headphones or a fancy enough amplifier even for my record player that we got at Urban Outfitters.
Urban Outfitters is such a fucked up store. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I love that you bought it from there. That's funny.
We the big selling point was that it was pink.
I feel
not that it was like, oh, this has got like the perfect needle weight and all this bull s whatever stuff.
But buying a record player from Urban Outfitters is like almost cringy. I feel like, for audiophiles. You know what I mean? It's
I mean, I'm admitting,
like, really,
it is kind of a weird thing to go out of your way to buy like 180 gram vinyl by your favorite band, spending, whatever, $60 or $70 on it. Anyway, yeah, it is kind of funny to just put a 180 gram vinyl on a Urban Outfitters record player.
It's underwhelming, It's very underwhelming, but also sort of bizarrely poetic, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. I think a needle is a needle.
It gets the job done.
Yeah. Maybe I'm committing a cardinal sin by saying that out on our recording, that a needle is a needle. I'm sure the vinyl heads right now are just like, what? These guys don't know what they're talking about.
Man, the thing is, like, I went to a skate shop yesterday because my brother-in-law was buying a skateboard, and the guy was like, do you want me to like set it up for you? To him, and he was like, yeah, like, I don't care. And I was like, yeah, who cares? Like, yeah, you should do it. You're better at it. And he's like, no, people care. Like, you talk to a real skateboarder, they're like, no, like, don't touch my board. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to put the grip tape on. And it's same with music, film, photography, books. People have these like niche, hyper-specific hobbies, and they're really fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are more hardcore now than they've ever been because of the internet.
Oh, yeah, because they can do their quote-unquote research,
Yeah. And it's not just all word of mouth, Like, everything was word of mouth before, and now you can have this hyper-specific, air quotes, research. And, people are hardcore, man. And, yeah, there's probably, like, record player columns and stuff on the internet. Did I just out myself as a really old man there?
Well, you haven't because you've stated your age many a time. Or when you were,
I just want you to never forget. I was born in 1997.
Frick.
In the back half of 97.
The back nine, as you say.
The back nine, yeah. I love saying back nine or front nine for stuff. Anyways, again, I digress. Okay, well, cool. I'm glad we talked about Moby. Any closing remarks? You're going to listen to the new album when it comes out.
Oh, yeah, I will. But I was going to actually say, related to what you were saying about vinyl nerdiness and stuff. I got into a couple of YouTubers who are just into, like, this is how you set up your TV. These are the Blu-ray players you want to use and stuff. Just because I was like, am I watching movies in the wrong way? I was interested in seeing what these super nerds who are obsessed with all of this stuff, with like calibration and all that stuff, had to say. It was fascinating, but also I don't think it matters, because they're just like, they're talking about like getting the perfect black level, getting the perfect chroma, blah blah blah, all these things. But it's like, how would anybody know?
Yeah,
how would anybody know if it's just like off by a little bit? If it's like, if it looks good to you, then that's really all that matters.
And, truth be told, the general public does not care. They don't give a flying F about any of that shit.
Yeah, I was trying to get to the bottom of why the HDR on our TV always looks like way too dark, and it looks garbage. Yeah, like when I watched Mank, I spent maybe 30% of the movie just adjusting the brightness just to compensate for whatever the hell was happening, because the HDR was ruining the film so much.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is a hellish experience. And same with, I'm thinking of
literally, they like, oh, that movie's super dark.
That movie was just terrible to watch on HDR. It was like, you got to watch this on a phone. It's the only way to see it. Which I know is the worst thing to say.
That's worthy of a quote. Like,
but it's kind of true. Watch it on a non-HDR device is the best way to watch it. Watch it on an iPad, for God's sake.
And the phone has a good backlight, so it's like a proper backlight, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, actually, a lot of stuff, I will say, looks better on an iPad than it does on your TV.
A lot of it does, yeah.
But I think they're like the only way to like really watch proper television or like a film is like in a blackout scenario, like no windows, no lights, the walls are black, there's no light being like bounced, there's no glare, and it's like that's peak watching. But who the hell has that situation set up?
I mean, we have windows. You can put blinds on. Well,
but still, it's like, yeah, it's just sometimes you're watching a movie in the middle of the day.
Yeah, well, I mean, we watched, what was that movie called? We watched Alita Battle Angel.
Like
a couple weeks ago. We watched it on a 4K HD Blu-ray on a 4K HDR TV. You know, I don't know. We didn't have Dolby Atmos, but we had it going through at least the sound bar. But anyway, that's the thing. It's like the Blu-ray is set up for you to watch it with primo Dolby Atmos, blah blah blah, and also, you know, the perfect HDR 4K image and stuff. Like the bit rate for that Blu-ray is like you're not going to get that quality on Netflix. You know, it's good. Yeah. It's good. But then also we were watching it in a room with just like the sound, like a single sound bar, so the Atmos wasn't working. In fact, the sound effects were super loud and the talking was super quiet, so something was going wrong with the setup. And then the lighting in the room was just like the disgusting yellow light from an LED light that was on the ceiling kind of thing. So
God, was, like, you had the light on?
And then I was sitting over to the right, so I was just getting just so much reflection on the screen. So all of the hard work and money that went into just making this image quality so perfect was just being diminished by my viewing experience, because we were just casually watching a movie just to like kill time.
Exactly. I do think they ask too much of the fans at times.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, oh, like peak viewing experience. And it's like, not everyone, A, cares, and B, has the resources to do that.
Yeah, exactly. All the big cinephile fans are spending all this money. But then also, like, when 4K came out as like a physical thing that you could buy for your fancy TVs, the only movies they put out are like loud action films.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I mean, I guess it really shows off the viewing experience, but it's like, well, I don't know. You just have to watch these movies, I guess. Just CG Marvel films, essentially. You're not gonna get, you know, like Synecdoche, New York on a 4K thing or some other like fancy movie.
Also, just to change the subject, like, how the hell do you watch that movie? I can't find it anywhere.
Well, yeah, I have it on a DVD that I bought when it first came out on DVD, so you can borrow that. I might
just do that.
I also have a torrent file that I could probably share with you that's 1080p.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. Thanks. Because on the internet, it's tough to find.
Yeah, I believe you can rent it on like the Sony store. Like if you have a PlayStation, you can watch it on there easily. Or maybe it's the Microsoft store.
I don't have either, but good to know.
Yeah, well, but you have an Xbox 360.
It's dead. The store on the 360.
Oh, is
dead.
It? Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a 13-year-old system.
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot when the 360 came out. Yeah, I guess that's like the Nintendo Wii era.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, those I think are the best ways. You can get a Blu-ray, but the only Blu-ray I've been able to find that was affordable was from a site in the States where they were selling, where you could buy like used Blu-rays or brand new Blu-rays and then also CDs and stuff. So, but you have to pay for the shipping. It takes like a month. It'll probably end up costing you an extra like $10, $20 just because of the
duties on that shit.
It's not worth it. Yeah, it's not worth it. So I'd just say I'll just share my DVD, and then I'm winking here and whispering torrent to you.
By the way, he said winking but closed both eyes.
Yeah, I just blinked really weirdly and awkwardly. So
Yeah, that'd be great because I want to see it. Everything about that movie sounds great.
It is great. Yeah, it is
never
Charlie Kaufman's best thing that he's done, probably.
Yeah.
And then also, like, we should do that on the pod. Why not? Cover it for the pod. Yeah. It's a great film.
Yeah.
And do another movie that's really hard for people to watch. You know? Just really keep that
trying to torture the fans.
Happy. Yeah.
I'm going to guarantee at this moment no one watches the films along with us.
No,
not
I don't think
not a regular
single
listener
does.
No.
Yeah, doing 2 movies as homework, a tough sell. Super tough sell.
Yeah. Especially some of them are not friendly watches, you know what I mean?
No, definitely not. Well, I mean, whenever you do a bad movie, it's not a friendly watch.
Yeah, but even the good ones, sometimes we pick tough ones.
Yeah.
It's an all-time classic, but Seven Samurai feels a bit like eating your vegetables.
Oh, for sure it does, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would be surprised if anybody follows along, but I mean, whenever I listen to most podcasts about anything, I rarely experience the media that they're talking about. And it's usually podcasts about people talking about media. So, when I listen to video game podcasts, it's usually to hear them talk about a game I haven't played. So it doesn't make sense, actually, when it comes to movies, because if it's like an audio medium where people are describing a visual thing, it would help if I had seen it so I could know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess that's the power of human communication, you know?
It's true.
Make little podcasts, put them out there for people to listen to, and then they don't have to have experienced it in order to understand what you're talking about. And that's kind of beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It is, isn't it? You and I are really just performing a service for the people, aren't we? With this thing,
for sure, yeah. I think a lot of there was definitely a gigantic void in the universe saying people aren't talking about a bad movie and a good movie being the same. We need something to fill this gigantic black hole.
Thank goodness for us.
Truly.
Speaking of that, let's wrap this puppy up. Okay?
Yeah, let's wrap this baby up.
I want to tie this into the neatest little bow we can. All right, so we got to bring it back.
We're supposed to be talking about Moby.
Exactly. But you know what? There's going to be tangents. And we're talking about music. It's good. It's all
We talked about, actually, you know what? We started talking about Moby, but really we talked about every conceivable like angle of media in a way. We talked about vinyl. We talked about literature, great works of literature, you know?
Yeah,
we talked about music. We talked about cinema. YouTube even, yeah. I mean, TikTok. That exists also.
And that's all we need to say about it.
That's all we need to say about it, for sure.
Yeah, okay. So we got to finish on Moby. Okay.
Yeah, let's finish on him. On his little bald head, we'll finish on it.
So let's finish with what do you think you'd order from his restaurant in LA? I know you don't know what's on the menu, but like, what are you going to be jonesing for?
If he had like some vegan tacos, I'd eat those.
Nice. Are we talking like with a meat replacement or like just straight tofu?
I mean, I would like.
Do you want it to feel like meat?
I would like to ask Moby, actually, what are your thoughts on fake meat? First of all, then second of all, no, I feel like he would do something like, well, not him. I feel like his chef would do something with unless Moby makes them himself. Seems like he's got a lot going on. He's so busy. He's not getting any sleep.
God,
just got to cook food and then make music at night. But he makes music that is easy to fall asleep to, I guess. So that's
exactly. He might have a really good sleep regimen.
Yeah, I guess so. He just sits in front of a keyboard and goes, no,
and then he's
yeah, playing.
He's out.
Yeah,
or he's a micro napper.
Oh, he might be. Yeah.
Like, there's people who don't sleep all night. They just micro nap like through a 24-hour window.
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like he would have some sort of like really vibrant tasting carrot-based taco, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
Also, you want to hear a good taco mod that I learned from a from a vegetarian taco restaurant in LA?
Yeah.
Get a soft shell taco.
Okay.
Put cheese in the middle of it, like put it on a pan, put cheese on it open faced or whatever, and then just
melt it.
Let it melt. Then take that, flip it upside down, put it inside of a hard shell taco so it sticks to the inside.
Sick. That's
and then you put all of your fixins in. I mean, this is a thing that Taco Bell does already.
I was going to say Taco Bell in corporate America invented this, but yes.
Yeah. But it's like I had never eaten really at Taco Bell.
Well, there's your first mistake.
Okay. I either eat at Taco Time or I guess El Pollo Loco. I guess those are really the only like chains.
Yeah.
That I've ever really eaten at that are garbage.
Okay. Yeah.
Taco Time is Canadian only.
That's right, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's pretty good.
Taco Time's not bad. I used to have it all the time as a kid. Probably haven't had it in like 10 years.
Yeah, there's one in the mall by our house, and sometimes when I'm just going there to look at all of the crappy stores they have in this sad mall, I'll get Taco Time if it's Taco Tuesday.
That mall is worthy of like a really short form documentary about just the tonality that it has.
Oh yeah, maybe I should do that. Like
it's bleak.
Cover the rock store like that sells those rocks.
Yes. Yeah. Like I used to go to that store all the time.
Yeah.
It's such a dour experience walking through that mall.
And then whenever a store goes out of business, it's what replaces it is just like a make your own t-shirt store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh God. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But gotta say, it has one of the best Dollaramas in the city.
Yeah.
So like the Dollarama there is fire.
Yeah.
If I can say that, which is
it
stupid.
slaps.
It slaps. That Dollarama, it's a bop. They also
Dollarama full sends.
They also have Revolver, which is a great store to buy used vinyl and used Blu-rays and DVDs, if you're so inclined.
And it's not too hip.
And it's not too hip. I got Xanadu there for like $7 on vinyl.
Sweet.
Got a good ABBA record too. The Visitors, one of their best.
Nice.
And then also they got that video game store, Game City.
Yeah.
That's a good store to buy used games.
Yeah, and a lot of retro stuff, which is nice.
Yeah. And then, they got Sunshine Records. Not too bad in terms of like just a place to buy CDs and vinyl and
DVDs.
Movies and stuff. So, I mean, they've got a couple of like banger stores that fit my interest, but then for the most part, it's just a sad, sad mall.
Bleak. Yeah.
Super
really,
bleak,
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's comically sad.
Yeah. It kind of like, there's
like the ill-fated Target that like opened up and then Target shut down a month later, like on a corporate level. It's like, ooh, that stings because Target bought half the mall.
Yeah, exactly. Now they're a Stitcher outlet, which is super sad.
Yeah, but you can get some hot screaming deals on socks.
Oh, they're super cheap. Yeah, the clothes there.
Yeah. Jeans are a bit of a ripoff, just speaking from personal experience. But the sock situation, you can get some pretty hot deals.
So there you go, everybody. We're talking about Bonnie Doon Mall.
Who knew? Start with Moby, end with Bonnie Doon.
The joke that I always make is Bonnie Doon Shopping Mall, BDSM. It's like going to go to BDSM.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good
like, I'm into BDSM, like Bonnie Doon Shopping Mall.
Yeah. Okay, we got to really wrap this up because I feel like
there's only so many tangents we can go on.
Yeah. The people are upset with us now.
Well, this was a fun diversion from our usual format.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, Moby was celebrated. The man, the myth, the legend,
the vegan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and the punk guy.
Yeah. So, way to go, Moby, for all you've done. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thanks. And keep up the good work.
Keep up the good work, Moby.
Shit, this feels over. I've been Bob. Just such a blunt ending. Just like, Mike, shut up.
This feels over.
This. Yeah.
Just that's one of the worst things to hear from like someone you're in a relationship with. Well, this feels over.
Oh, geez.
I dare you to break up with somebody using that sentence. You know what? This feels over. Yeah.
That's something you could say on a first date and it wouldn't be that like cutthroat, but like 2 years into a relationship, that's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said some harsh stuff in the past for sure, ending relationships, but never that bad.
Okay, well, should we keep the pod going and then and just really get into it, and you can just like lay it all on the table?
No one wants that.
Okay, nobody wants that. Okay, well, thanks everybody for listening. I've been Mike.
And I've been Bob. Yeah, thanks so much. And Moby, if you're listening, email us the secret menu to your restaurant in LA, and we'll decide what we want.
Yeah, we'll eat there one day. And we will say, you got to eat here.
So, Mike, I'm just going to say this now. I think, when you go to LA next, I'm probably coming along because we're family. We're Google family.
Oh, yeah, we're Google family. Right? That's right.
Yeah, all right. This is over now.
Bye.